Welcome to Return to Yahweh Ministries. I am Theresa Lanette. A very warm welcome to you, family. We are here today to continue our journey in learning our Hebrew identity. The Lord wants you to know who you are, and He wants the world to know who you are. He says, "My people have been hidden long enough." So today, we're going to continue that journey together. We're going to do a quick recap of part 2 before we get into part 3. In part 2 of our Hebrew identity, we learned that Terah is the father of Abraham. Abraham was told by Yahweh to leave his father's family and go to a country the Lord would show him. Abraham obeyed the Lord and left his father's land. We saw that Yahweh called Abraham and promised if he obeyed him, he would make a promise and a covenant with him and his descendants after him. Genesis 17, 1 through 10 says, "When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him. He said, 'I am Yah all-powerful. Obey me and live the right way. If you do this, I will prepare an agreement between us. I will promise to make your people a great nation.' Then Abraham bowed down before Yahweh. And Yahweh said to him, 'This is a part of the agreement.'" Now, family, I forgot to announce I'm reading from the ERV, the easy to read version. So I'll start over at verse 4. It says, "This is my part of the agreement. I will make you the father of many nations. I will change your name from Abram to Abraham, because I am making you the father of many nations. I will give you many descendants. New nations and kings will come from you. And I will prepare an agreement between me and you. This agreement will also be for all your descendants. It will continue forever. I will be your Yah and the Yah of all your descendants. And I will give this land to you and to all your descendants. I will give you the land you are traveling through, the land of Canaan. I will give you this land forever, and I will be your Yah." Then Yahweh said to Abraham, "Now this is your part of the agreement. You and all your descendants will obey my agreement. This is my agreement that all of you must obey. This is the agreement between you and all your descendants. Every male must be circumcised." We also learned that Sarah gave her slave girl Hagar to Abraham, and they had a child together named Ishmael. We learned that the Lord announced that he would bless Abraham and Sarah with their own son in their old age. The child of promise. That is where we will pick up our study today in part 3 of our Hebrew identity. We will begin at Genesis 21, verses 1 through 14. Once again, I'm reading from the ERV, easy to read version of the Bible. Beginning at verse 1, "The Lord came back to visit Sarah as he said he would, and he kept his promise to her. At exactly the time Yahweh said it would happen, Sarah became pregnant and gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age. Abraham named his son Isaac. Abraham did what Yahweh commanded and circumcised Isaac when he was 8 days old." Verse 5, "Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born. Sarah said, 'Yahweh has made me happy, and everyone who hears about this will be happy for me. No one thought that I, Sarah, would be able to have Abraham's child. But I have given Abraham a son, even though he is old.'" We're going to verse 8. "Isaac continued to grow, and soon he was old enough to begin eating solid food. So Abraham gave him a big party. Sarah saw Hagar's son playing. Hagar was the Egyptian slave woman who gave birth to Abraham's first son. Sarah said to Abraham, "Get rid of that slave woman and her son. Send them away." When we die, our son Isaac will get everything we have. I don't want that slave woman's son sharing these things with my son Isaac." This upset Abraham very much. He was worried about his son Ishmael. But Yahweh said to Abraham, "Don't worry about the boy and the slave woman. Do what Sarah wants. Your descendants will be those who come through Isaac. But I will also bless the son of your slave woman. He is your son, so I will make a great nation from his family also." Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and water and gave them to Hagar. She carried them and left with her boy. She left that place and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. So family, I want us to stop for a second and go back and look at verse 12. And it says, "The Lord took time to make it clear that Abraham has two sons." Okay. But of the two sons, Abram's descendants would be from Isaac, the son of Sarah and Abraham, not the son of Hagar. And at verse 12 says, "But Yah said to Abraham, don't worry about the boy and the slave woman, but do what Sarah wants." This is the part of the verse I'm talking about here. Your descendants will be those who come from Isaac. So some people may say this blessing goes to Ishmael too, but it doesn't. I want to make that clear, that the Lord said that the blessing would go through Abraham and Sarah's son, Isaac. Okay, so we just want to take time to make that clear in our Hebrew identity. Abraham has other children, and we'll learn in the future he has more children than Isaac and Ishmael. But the Lord has made it clear in verse 12, Abraham's descendants would come from Isaac, the son of Sarah and Abraham, not the son of Hagar. So let's go a little further. Okay, we're now going to go to Genesis 23:1, and it says, Sarah lived to be 127 years old. She died in the city of Kiriath Arba, or Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Abraham was very sad and cried for her there. Genesis 23:19 says, after this, Abraham buried his wife in the cave of that field near Mamre, Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So we wanted to say goodbye to the mother of Israel, who is Sarah. She has passed on, and we see that she has been buried by Abraham. He grieved over her and buried her. So now we're going, family, to chapter 24 of Genesis, verse 1. And this is where we're going to be finding out that Abraham's going to be looking for a wife for Isaac. So we're going to read chapter 24, and let's begin at verse 1. Abraham lived to be a very old man. The Lord blessed him and everything he did. Abraham's oldest servant was in charge of everything he owned. Abraham called that servant to him and said, "Put your hand under my leg. I want you to make a promise to me. Promise to me before Yahweh, Lord of heaven and earth, that you will not allow my son to marry a girl from Canaan." Now, there's something very special about him saying, do not marry my son to a girl from Canaan. We will visit that in a future teaching, but I just want to kind of highlight that. There is a reason he does not want his son Isaac to marry a girl from Canaan. So we're going to continue in that verse 3. We live among these people, but I don't want you to let him marry a Canaanite girl. So Abraham is being very clear to him, I do not want Isaac marrying anyone from Canaan. Verse 4, go back to my country, to my own people, to find a wife for my son Isaac. Bring her here to him. Verse 5, the servant said to him, maybe this woman will not want to come back with me to this land. If that happens, should I take your son with me to your homeland? Abraham said to him, no, don't take my son to that place. The Lord, the Yah of heaven, brought me from my homeland to this place. That place was the home of my father and the home of my family. But he promised that this new land would belong to my family. May he send his angel before you so that you can choose a wife for my son. Verse 8. If that girl refuses to come with you, you will be free from this promise, but you must not take my son back to that place. So the servant put his hand under his master's leg and made the promise. The servant took 10 of Abraham's camels and left that place. The servant carried with him many different kinds of beautiful gifts. He went to Mesopotamia, to Nahor's city. In the evening, when the women come out to get water, he went to the water well outside the city. He made the camels kneel down at the well. Verse 12. The servant said, Lord, you are the Yah of my master Abraham. Please show your kindness to my master by helping me find a wife for his son Isaac. Here I am, standing by this well of water, and the young women from the city are coming out to get water. I will say to one of them, please put your jar down so that I can drink. Let her answer show whether she is the one you have chosen for your servant Isaac. If she says, drink, and I will also give water to your camels, I will know that she is the right one. It will be proof that you have shown kindness to my master. Before the servant finished praying, a young woman named Rebekah came to the well. She was the daughter of Bethuel. Bethuel was the son of Milcah and Nahor, Abraham's brother. Rebekah came to the well with her water jar on her shoulder. She was very pretty. She was a virgin. No man had ever had sexual relations with her. She went down to the well and filled her jar. Then the servant ran to her and said, please give me a little water to drink from your jar. Rebekah quickly lowered the jar from her shoulder and gave him a drink. She said, drink this, sir. As soon as she finished giving him something to drink, Rebekah said, I will also pour some water for your camels. So Rebekah quickly poured all the water from her jar into the drinking trough for the camels. Then she ran to the well to get more water, and she gave water to all the camels. The servant quietly watched her. He wanted to be sure that the Lord had given him an answer and had made his trip successful. After the camels finished drinking, he gave Rebekah a gold ring that weighed 1/4 ounce. He also gave her 2 gold arm bracelets that weighed 2 ounces each. The servant asked, who is your father? And is there a place in your father's house for me and my men to sleep? Rebekah answered, my father is Bethuel, the son of Milcah and Nahor. Then she said, yes, we have straw and other food for your camels, and a place for you to sleep. Then the servant bowed down and worshiped the Lord. He said, praise be to the Lord, the Yah of my master Abraham. The Lord has been kind and loyal to him by leading me to his own people. Then Rebekah ran and told her family about all these things. She had a brother named Laban. She told him what the man had said to her. Laban was listening to her. And when he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms, he ran out to the well. There the man was, standing by the camels at the well. Laban said, sir, you are welcome to come in. You don't have to stand outside here. I have prepared a room for you to sleep in and a place for your camels. So Abraham's servant went into the house. Laban unloaded his camels and gave them straw and feed. Then he gave Abraham's servant some water, so that he and his men with him could wash their feet. Laban then gave him food to eat, but the servant refused to eat. He said, I will not eat until I have told you why I came. So Laban said, then tell us. The servant said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has greatly blessed my master in everything. My master has become a great man. The Lord has given him many flocks of sheep and herds of cattle. He has much silver and gold and many servants. He has many camels and donkeys. Sarah was my master's wife. When she was very old, she gave birth to a son, and my master has given everything he owns to that son. my master forced me to make a promise to him. He said to me, "You must not allow my son to marry a girl from Canaan. We live among these people, but I don't want him to marry one of the Canaanite girls. You must promise to go to my father's country, go to my family and choose a wife for my son." I said to my master, "Maybe the woman will not come back to this place with me." But my master said to me, "I serve the Lord, and he will send his angel with you and help you. You will find a wife for my son among my people there. But if you go to my father's country and they refuse to give you a wife for my son, you will be free from this promise." Verse 42. "Today I came to this well and said, 'Lord Yah of my master Abraham, please make my trip successful. I will stand by this well and wait for a young woman to come to get water. Then I will say, please give me water from your jar to drink. The right woman will answer in a special way. She will say, drink this water, and I will also get water for your camels. That way I will know that she is the one the Lord has chosen for my master's son.'" Before I finished praying, Rebekah came out to the well to get water. She had her water jar on her shoulder as she went to get water from the well. I asked her to give me some water. She quickly lowered the jar from her shoulder and poured me some water. Then she said, "Drink this, and I'll get some water for your camels." So I drank the water, and she gave water to my camels. Then I asked her, "Who is your father?" She answered, "My father is Bethuel, the son of Milcah and Nahor." Then I gave her the ring and bracelets for her arms. I bowed my head and worshiped the Lord. I praised the Lord, the Yah of my master Abraham. I thanked him for leading me straight to the granddaughter of my master's brother. Now tell me, will you be kind and loyal to my master and give him your daughter? Or will you refuse to give her to him? Tell me, so that I will know what I should do." Verse 50. Laban and Bethuel answered, "We see that this is from the Lord, so there is nothing we can say to change it. Here is Rebekah. Take her and go. Let her marry your master's son. This is what the Lord wants." When Abraham's servant heard this, he bowed to the ground before the Lord. Then he gave Rebekah the gifts he brought. He gave her beautiful clothes and gold and silver jewelry. He also gave expensive gifts to her mother and brother. Then he and his men had something to eat and drink, and they spent the night there. Early the next morning they got up, and the servant said, "Now we must go back to my master." Verse 55. Rebekah's mother and her brother said, "Let Rebekah stay with us for a short time. Let her stay with us 10 days. After that, she can go." But the servant said to them, "Don't make me wait. The Lord has made my trip successful. Now let me go back to my master." Rebekah's brother and mother said, "We will call Rebekah and ask her what she wants to do." They called her and asked her, "Do you want to go with this man now?" Rebekah said, "Yes, I will go." So they allowed Rebekah to go with Abraham's servant and his men. Her nurse also went with them. While Rebekah was leaving, they said to her, "Our sister, may you be the mother of millions of people, and may your descendants defeat their enemies and take their cities." Verse 61. Then Rebekah and her nurse got on the camels and followed the servant and his men. So the servant took Rebekah and left. Isaac had left Beer-lahai-roi and was now living in the Negev. One evening he went out to the field to think. He looked up and saw the camels coming from far away. Rebekah also looked and saw Isaac. Then she jumped down from the camel. She said to the servant, "Who is that young man walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "That is my master's son." So Rebekah covered her face with her veil. The servant told Isaac everything that had happened. Then Isaac brought the girl into his mother's tent. Rebekah became his wife that day. Isaac loved her very much, so he was comforted after his mother's death. Thank the Lord for his wife. So family, we see that the Lord was faithful. He blessed Sarah to have a son for Abraham in their old age, Isaac, the son of promise. Family, we saw that Sarah didn't want Abraham's other son Ishmael and his mother Hagar around. Let's refer to Genesis 16:4 so we can understand where Sarah was coming from when she dealt shrewdly with Hagar. Verse 4 says, Abraham slept with Hagar, and she became pregnant. When Hagar realized this, she became very proud and began to feel that she was better than Sarah, her owner. Now we know Sarah couldn't have that. So Sarah told Abraham emphatically, the kid and his mom must go. Send them away. Everything will go to our son Isaac when we die. And I don't want that slave woman's boy sharing these things with my Isaac. Of course, this upset Abraham tremendously. But Yahweh told Abraham to do what his wife Sarah wants because his descendants would come from Isaac. We see that Sarah was sure of Yah's position on who would receive the blessing. Let's make it crystal clear. When Yahweh said Abraham's descendants, know that Yahweh is referring to the future nation of Israel. The Lord was kind and promised to bless Abraham's son Ishmael from his slave woman. Our mother Sarah died at the age of 127 years old. Abraham sent his servant back to his homeland to find a wife for Isaac. We saw that the Lord performed a miracle, and Rebekah was found for Isaac to marry from Abraham's homeland, just as Abraham requested. So Isaac married Rebekah and was comforted after his mother's death. What a wonderful lesson we have had today on our journey to learning our Hebrew identity. Family, thank you for listening. Please join me for part 4, where we will learn more about our father Abraham, and we will pick up with the life of Isaac and Rebekah and the 2 nations Rebekah is carrying in her womb. We will take our time and keep it simple on a journey to learning our true Hebrew identity. Yahweh has said that his children have been hidden long enough, and the wait is over. Yahweh is concerned about the condition of his people scattered around the world in all nations. He wants you to know that he has not replaced you with a false nation. He loves you, and he is calling you. True Israel, you will know who you are by the yearning and pulling Yahweh has placed in your heart. You will have a knowing, and you will learn who you are here at Return to Yahweh Ministries. I am Theresa Lanette. May Yahweh bless you and keep you, and may his eternal peace be with you always. Once again, thank you for listening. Until next time, shalom, shalom.